Once you take over the leadership of the 29 crew, you start building your own team. Can you talk about your early recruits?
Yeah, so it only made sense to have the people that I know. So just like J-Rock had put me into UCLA right when they were starting that, since I had, you know, morphed into this 29C, I'm like, hey, you should be from this crew too. Air was one of my early recruits. This kid Dexter, which went to the Marines or the Navy. Who else? Ty, which was a real talented dude. Or actually, what, does Ty ever in the crew? No, he wasn't in the crew. I think he was like the last dude that didn't get in the crew that should have been from the crew, but he was still family. I feel like it was kind of dudes from UCLA and FA that were at Fairfax that I felt were just like the more dynamic graffiti writers that ended up getting in the 29C.
For how long does the 29 crew stay together with your lineup?
So I think until like the senior year of high school, and basically, which was 97 for me. So it was from, I got in 94, and I pretty much started running it in like 95, 96, and then by 97, that's when RETNA came to our high school, and he basically, behind my back, started putting all the 29Cs that were already in my crew into KOG. Because at my high school, there was like it was Fairfax Visual Arts Magnet, and there was Fairfax High, both on the same campus. So I was in the Magnet, so I didn't see a lot of the kids that were in my crew, and he was in the regular classes with them. So he kind of behind my back stole my crew, and one day they were having a meeting, and I was kind of resentful, and they're like, yo, we're all gonna go chill at this girl's house after the meeting, you should just come with us. And I'm like, nah, I don't wanna do that. And then Air and J-Rock were like, yo, just come over here. And they walked me over, and they're like, yo, man, when we got here, you put us on. So like, we want to put you on, and just think of it as the same crew with a new name. And I was kind of reluctant, like, what the fuck? But it was basically all my same homies that I had put on the 29C, my squad that I had built. RETNA came and put them all in KOG. And I was like, all right, fuck it. If that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing. You know, if you can't beat them, join them. You know, and I reluctantly joined KOG at that time. Basically what was left of 29C transformed officially into KOG, and I was like, all right, let's just drop 29C and just run KOG.
How did you feel towards RETNA when he recruits your whole squad to join his crew?
I was a little resentful, not so much of him, of my homies kind of. I was like, how come y'all are joining? Like, who is this guy? Why y'all trying to be down with this motherfucker? You know what I mean? Because I hadn't met him again because I didn't have any classes with him. But, you know, in the end, I was bound to be in the same crew with the other guys, and I'm glad that he helped kind of keep us together, at least for a little while, that he, in a way, solidified that we were going to be crew forever.
Did RETNA start the KOG crew?
No, if I'm not mistaken, Sinner's big brother started KOG crew, Sane, original Sane. It was Killers of Giants, and it was actually kind of just like a joke. It wasn't really a crew, it was just something they would write on trains sometimes after painting a train, because they would do full rollers that would crush the whole train. And they're like, oh yeah, we're the Killers of Giants. And that was just something they would write. And what happened was, so LTS kind of had a resurgence around 95, 96, 97. Verse, Sinner, Jimmer, some of the OG guys, they like Create, Mark 7, they all started painting again because they were doing stuff in the 80s, and then for whatever reason, because of gang and this and that, they kind of fizzled out, but then they came back, and RETNA was like their young recruit. And when he came to our school, he's like, yo, I want to put these kids into LTS. There's these fresh kids, but Sinner was like, yo, let's put them on a slow burn. Let's start like a little side crew and put them in that crew first, and if they fit in, then we'll put them in LTS. So KOG kind of started as like a recruiting crew for LTS. Later it morphed out of that, but that was the original kind of idea behind KOG. It was like, we want to put people in LTS, let's see if they're good enough, we'll put them in KOG first.
When you join KOG, do you have mixed feelings? Do you celebrate?
It really, you know, it was a new crew. It didn't really have that much of a rep. So it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm stoked to be in this new crew, but it was just like a very natural, organic progression. I loved all the homies in it, like the homie Doobie, the homie Kyle. Like there was a lot of dudes that are still my lifelong friends from that time. So we already had like these bonds with these dudes. So it was like, okay, I'm glad we're still solidified under this crew together, you know? Doobie was a UCLA guy, and Kyle was a 29C guy too. So we just, you know, it's like just repeating, keep putting the same people over and over on the same crews.